One of the things I'm going to share with you today is about owning our failures. I think it's just a reminder that I'm just a guy who is good at certain things and really rubbish at other things. That I believe I'm very good at my role and what I do and how I help people. And I'm also not great as a student. If I go back to my education when I was younger, I wasn't a great student. I didn't perform very well. I wasn't really engaged with the subjects, and I was getting D's and E's, and this was in private school. I was just gliding through, just getting through the years, but without any even direction. Gosh, the worst part, okay, glide through because you hate it and get out and do something else. But I kind of came out of it just as unimpressed or as neutral as I was before. I had no real drive or goal. That only came in later life. And I just want to really break that wall down so that you realize that there are certain things I'm good at, but there's loads of things that I'm just crap at. I just don't focus on them. It's just not worth my while. There's no benefit of going back over things that I'm not very good at. So when someone says to me, what was your biggest failure? I really have to think about what it is and go, okay, and really struggle to take me back. And they'll find something and I'll bring it forward, but they're just not in my foreground. They're barely in my background. And I found that has been an amazing way to get me through any challenge, is that I just focus on what I can do, what I can achieve with my own resources, my own resourcefulness, than to dwell and think about how I've failed or mistakes have happened in the past. I'm just not geared. One of the stories is that I tell people that I remember a time when I was getting really low. I was about finding work. This is about, maybe 7-8 years ago, looking for work, and I was really hoping for a particular job to come through and to have got it, and it didn't. And I remember just pushing myself down, really trying to depress myself, really going as far as I possibly could, really going to the absolute end of criticism, negativity, putting myself down, really wrap myself into that, and really kept on pushing and pushing to see how far I could really own that in a sense that that's all that I deserve. And I'm sure there's people out there who can relate to that feeling of just pushing themselves down and that negativity. And I remember doing this for 3 days. I was pushing myself down, complaining myself, negative thoughts, negative voices, getting myself into that awful state. And I remember sweeping the floor, and I was still trying to do this myself, when one thought came to me, and it was, well, yeah, you didn't get it, but at least you got some interview experience. And out of this barren wasteland that I was trying to make, to try and burn down even further, a leaf popped out, a shoot popped out of hope, of positivity. It was at that point I recognized that no matter how much I criticize myself, no matter how much I can get negative over a situation, I will always find something positive that will pull me out. And that story is the best example. It can explain my mindset to you, that it's set up that no matter what situation happens, I will genetically come forward with some positive aspect on it. And that's why I know that if we can get those threads of positivity in our life, our small ones, and we keep on pulling on them, we get ourselves out. It's just the path. They're not the answers in of themselves, but the more things we can feel positive over, the more chance we can get out. Because I've experienced it. I've pushed myself down as deep as I felt I could, and I still couldn't get that low because I had an automatic response to say, boom, yes, but you got something from it. So if that is any use to you, that's wonderful. I really hope you get some value from it today, because it's something that's important to remind ourselves we are all human, we all have our faults, and we are all looking to understand ourselves, and that includes me as well.